Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about volunteer services. When you're homeschooling, you're always trying to come up with volunteer services. And maybe you can have your students create a list of different ways that they can volunteer. It's about the soup kitchen, maybe food pantry. Maybe you can volunteer at your local church, cleaning the church bathrooms, anything. Local library, maybe you can volunteer at the local library. Maybe they'll have you sort books and put them up. Local animal shelter, national park, companionship to the elderly that have no kids, teaching English, parks and rec. You might be able to volunteer online to teach English. Local youth center, community center, Red Cross, museum. You might can volunteer at a local museum. You might can volunteer to sit with people in a retirement home, watching TV with them, or reading with them, or singing to them, or playing cards with them, or volunteer to help feed them or serve lunches. That's when they need help the most, because it's hard for them to have enough staff to sit there and feed them. The employment office might need volunteers. You might can volunteer at a local school even though you're being homeschooled. The YMCA, Habitat for the Humanities, United Way, Aarp Hospital. There are volunteers at the hospital that pass out books and things like that. Knit hats for infants. There's one hospital that I know that is run by volunteers, and then it's less expensive for people to go in. Lawn mowing for elderly neighbors, raking leaves, making crafts for foster kids or seniors or troops, making blessing bags and carrying them in your car for the homeless. You can volunteer virtually to spread the word on fundraisers, have a pancake breakfast at a local church for someone needing help, get an extra couple of chickens if you're raising chickens yourself. You can get an extra couple of chickens to have extra eggs to donate to your neighbors, plant extra in your garden to donate. You can donate a box of ramen a week. You can tutor students when you as part of volunteering. Vacation Bible School, you can volunteer. You can volunteer at after school care places. You can host a car wash. You can buy and sell some sort of cookies as a fundraiser. You can teach a senior to use a computer, maybe even a cell phone. Meals on Wheels needs volunteers. You can create and maintain a free library, outside pantry, or food pantry. Maybe you can do it at your church or somewhere. You can research nonprofits near you to see who needs assistance. You can go to the people, elderly, even in the hospital that aren't in those homes, and maybe sing to them or read to them, or children in the hospital. You can take books to people in the hospital or prisons or jail. You can host a foreign exchange student. You can help clean local areas. You can write letters to troops or missionaries or prison inmates of encouragement. You can pray for people. You can even pray for people as a part of volunteer work. You can cook a meal to bring to local volunteers or emergency workers. You can take meals to people who are homesick. Maybe ask a local church if they know of anyone that got injured or hurt, broke a leg, can't get out of bed, they need things. You could be a big brother or a big sister. You could cook a meal for a family with a new baby, or with a wife in the hospital, or with a family member who died. You can sew, make stuffed animals to donate, especially around Christmas time. You can do things for hospice patient care places. You could collect items for a food pantry. You could maybe make birthday cards for elderly or military, or clean up from local disasters. You might can volunteer at a local aquarium or a zoo. How much fun would that be? A woman's shelter. You might could foster pets for people. You don't get to keep them forever, but you get to keep them for a little while. You might could, like I said, volunteer at a children's hospital doing things. Maybe do little puppets for children in the hospital. You might could write a cookbook for a fundraiser, or create a fundraiser. Come up with an idea for a fundraiser. Maybe help with raising money for kids to go to camp fundraisers. Help with various fundraisers that may be happening at the time. Maybe foster kids who need things for Christmas. Maybe you could create a fundraiser to collect things for foster kids. Write thank you notes to local teachers. You could contact the Kiwanis or the Lions Club or local groups or organizations to see if there are things to help with local people. And we're going to go through some web pages that have other ideas. So, or maybe even some of the same ideas. You can host a toy drive or canned food collection. Serve meals at a soup kitchen. Build homes with Habitat for Humanity. If you're younger, you probably could go with your parent and maybe hand people tools or something if they're age appropriate. You could host, maybe you could help with the curtains or hanging curtains after they've built a home or something. Host a letter writing party. You might could make a list of things needed for people at the Habitat for Humanity. Host a letter writing party. Adopt a family. You can read more about this. You can see it on here. So there are so many different things you could do. This one says, sponsor a family, adopt a family, local gift giving. Social service agencies can match you with a family in need and suggest what gifts they would appreciate. Usually basics like hat, mittens, socks, underwear, and blankets. You could go through the whole year collecting things here and there from the dollar store and put them aside to sponsor a family on Christmas. This says homemade holiday cards, Meals on Wheel programs or veterans, nursing home, servicemen, or child with a life-threatening illness. Pick up parcels or run errands for people. It says buy cost-effective pinto beans or rice and put in family-sized portions and a quart resealable plastic bags. Your local food shelf will distribute them for them. I wouldn't do like cookies and crackers in Ziploc bags because sometimes the Ziploc bags have little holes in them or something. For some reason, they don't always stay fresh for very long. Making blankets by tying the ends, no sewing required. Even youngsters can pitch in. So there's no sew fleece blanket and donation information can be found, and there's a website to click. And this is doinggoodtogether.org. Creating a giving box. Coffee can, shoebox, decorate it, put stuff in it. You could go to the dollar store and get cups. You could get the plastic cups that you get for $1 or whatever, or the bigger cups, and you could get individual packets of cocoa and split the cocoa into the cups. Then you could get instant coffee and put them into the cups. Then you could find like cookies where they have the individual packs of cookies and throw them in there. And you can create your own little gift care packages. You can make a calendar of giving, it says. So that's a great idea. And then you can read more about that. Pay a visit, it says. Some people don't even ever get visitors. So join a toy drive like Toys for Tots. It says party hardy. Non-perishable food item. Gently used book or toy. Pair of socks or mittens. You can donate to a local charity. It says bake some treats to donate to a lonely neighbor, a food shelf. Some people put a jar of things into a jar with instructions of how you can bake it. Or you can put stuff in there and donate it. Load a shoebox. Open Christmas child. So you can, but you could do that for local people. You don't have to do that for people far away. You could load a shoebox for local people for Christmas gifts. And then it talks about other ideas. Gifts that give back. So there's some ideas right there. And this one's got signupgenius.com. Read to kids. You could do it at a library. Throw a Polar Express party for kids in a shelter. Sponsor a family. Donate clothing for newborns. Toys for Tots. See, some people knit little hats and booties and blankets for newborns. Toys for Tots. Collect school supplies. They have places for, in some places they have unwed parent places where people stay in homes that are going to have children and they might need items. Collect school supplies. Help a classmate. Operation Christmas Child. Shop with the Salvation Army. Offer to babysit. Host a Christmas party for kids in your neighborhood. Oh, that would be fun to do a birthday party for somebody in the neighborhood that couldn't afford it. And maybe you could create the gifts and get them some gifts. That would be fun if you can afford to do something like that. This talks when the holiday season rolls around, many of us cherish the time we get to spend with our loved ones. During this time, however, it's also easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of the season. So you can read more about that. But it talks about most people are off work or off home and you have more time to do things. So maybe you could do things. You can give something or a family a warm meal. Volunteering spreads. You could, if you have the money or can get donations, you could cook meals and put them in those little tin things that you get from the Dollar Tree or to-go boxes, and pass them out, maybe 10 families or 20 families or something. Volunteering spreads holiday cheer. You can lead by examples. Make it a family affair. So you can read more about this. You can try something new. Maybe you can come up with ideas. And this helps. These might be just reasons for volunteering. So this is the Kiwanis Club. You can volunteer for the Kiwanis Club, and they have a list of things you can do: card writing, thank you notes, Kiwanis family programs, volunteering in your community, and it has a whole list of things that you can do. So if you're looking, and you can create certificates of achievement, or have other people from these organizations create certificates of achievements, or write something up so you can throw that in your portfolio or your binder. And if you're going to college, you can show the different ways that you volunteered. And this helps you to appreciate all the things you learned during the year from homeschooling. And even if you're not homeschooling, you can do volunteer work for people. There's so many things that you can do. And there's a whole list here that you can read. This one lists 50 successful school fundraising ideas. So even if you're homeschooling, you can do these fundraisers for your school or for other people. If other people had a death in the family and they can't afford the funeral, maybe you could do something like this. Or they're sick and they can't work at the time. Sometimes people can't work for 3 months and they need fundraisers. Maybe you could get local churches to help you so you could do it there and to participate. And maybe other people would pitch in, and you can pause this and read it. But you can see all the different things that you could do. There are great ideas of different things you could do for volunteer work. So you could, a recipe book. Remember the recipe books? A fashion show. A school sleepover. I don't know about that one nowadays, but there's so many ideas. A scavenger hunt. Rubber duck race, spa night, movie night. Maybe you can have movie night at the church for children so the parents could go out and take up donations for a family and tell them you're trying to raise money for a family that needs money. This is not local, but it gives you ideas where you can volunteer at the food bank or a thrift shop, maybe organizing clothes, or holiday programs, warm coat drive, Thanksgiving food distribution. You could donate somewhere like that. Holiday baskets. You could make toys and do crafts for Christmas during the year that you could donate for people that might need toys. And it talks about different places where you can volunteer. Meals on Wheels. So maybe your parents could do the Meals on Wheels and you can go with them if they let you do that. They have meal packers. Maybe you could be a meal packer. Wellness checks by phone. Pause pet food delivery. Home safety volunteer. Lawn mowing. Volunteers are needed to assist with lawn mowing and light yard work. So there's some ideas as well. Senior companion and friendly visitor programs, chore and home assistance, such as shopping, doing laundry, general household cleaning, preparing meals, yard work, such as raking leaves, pulling weeds, and clearing snow. There's so many different things that you could do. And you can look into that. General volunteering. This is YMCA. You can volunteer. They have maybe Parks and Rec or the YMCA or different places like that. Maybe there are a lot of different places that have after-school programs for kids that might need volunteers and help. And you can do that. You can volunteer at the YMCA. You could probably get a free membership if you're volunteering. And they have a variety of places you could volunteer at the YMCA. So there's a great place for tutoring. That's an excellent idea. So hopefully this helps you if you're homeschooling, or if you're not homeschooling and you're just looking for ways that you can volunteer. So you could put things together from the Dollar Tree that has to do with like hygiene products and donate them to a local homeless shelter. And you could just gather up things during the year so that you can make little gift care sets to donate to whoever you decide to donate them to. But there's so many different ideas for volunteering, and could donate at a national park or somewhere like that if they have things that they need volunteers for. You just never know. But hopefully this helps someone. I really appreciate my viewers because I am just a small YouTube channel. Please feel free to leave me more ideas and comments if you have other ideas, great ideas. Maybe later on, a year from now or 3 months from now, maybe I can do another video if I have a lot more great ideas from you. So thank you so much for watching my channel. Have a great day. Bye-bye.